Welcome to the 1000 Club podcast, where we believe that behind every woman there's a tribe chanting, yes! We call our tribe the 1000 Club, and every other Thursday we invite you into our VIP section to chat, console, shoot the breeze, or inform. Find us everywhere, including Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and Facebook. And remember to follow us on all socials at 1000 Club. What's up, y'all? I'm stealing that from Christy because she says that all the time. We want to welcome you back to the 1000 Club podcast. We mentioned on our last episode that we're changing it up a little bit, changing our format. We're growing, glowing, evolving 2022. And so this is our first episode of our pop culture, current culture, of the culture recap. And we are going to recap Harlem, which is found on Amazon Prime, starring Megan Good, Grace Byers, Shaniqua Shandai, Jerry Johnson, and of course, created by the lovely Tracy Oliver. So I'm really happy to try this out with y'all. Harlem has been a great series that I've been seeing. It's about 4 friends. We're 3 friends, so...
It goes together.
It goes together. They're in Harlem. We've been to Harlem, so a lot of similarities.
Yes, we had a whole birthday celebration in Harlem. That was a great time.
For who?
That was a great time.
I think it was Bronx.
Chrissy was the Bronx.
Oh, my bad, y'all.
It was her third get down. That was the get down.
Oh, the get down.
That was a good show.
That was a good show.
It
that
was
not
good. Because I don't think it ever ended. I think it just stopped, right?
Yeah, it just stopped. But Netflix, that's a show y'all need to bring on back.
Yes, the Get Down was fun. We had fun in the Bronx.
Yes.
The whole Get Down theme, y'all. We went to like the Latin restaurant, right? We did the whole, we did our own tour of the Boogie Down Bronx to see all the beautiful graffiti artwork. We explored all the elements of hip hop, went out, had the DJ. I mean, that wasn't my birthday, but I had fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yes.
We'll have to go back when the Hip Hop Museum is up and running, which should be happening in the next 2 years. So
yes. That was early United Family Organization. I need to be posting some of those pictures.
You know what? Yes.
Okay. That was early. That was throwback.
That was original before United was United.
Exactly.
It was here.
It was here. Matter of fact, my shirt says she believed she could, so she did. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. And she did that. Nice. All right, ladies, let's get into episode 1 of Harlem, which is the pilot episode. And this is the episode where we are introduced to first Dr. Camille Parks. That's played by Megan Good.
Miss Dr. Camille Parks.
Okay.
I said, remember the guy introduced her as Miss Dr. Camille Parks?
Oh, yes. So I got my little notes. First off, shout out to Vocal Action because it's in my brunch to lunch notebook. Aww. So look, y'all, my short-term memory is like this short, so I gotta write stuff down. All right, so we are introduced first, Dr. Camille or Miss Dr. Camille. She introduces us to the Masuo tribe. Have y'all ever heard of the Masuos?
Not until I watched this.
Right.
Oh.
And I have to admit, I was like, this is mad random, but okay. Shout out to the show.
At first, when it started off, I was like, wait a minute. What does this have to do with Harlem? What does this have to do with Black women? But I mean, they took it somewhere. So we're introduced to the Masuos, and they're like a tribe of women who are some boss women. They are a tribe that sticks together. They take control. They go out and choose who they want to marry.
Yes.
And when they are done, they go and get another husband. I love that. Okay. I like that. Mm-hmm. They pretty much, they call their own shots. They choose their own way. And Miss Dr. Camille, she's a professor. She's a professor, an adjunct professor, trying to be full-time at Columbia. And she challenges her class to live like the Masuo, the women, to live like the Masuo for a week, I think. And so pretty much call their shots, take control, and for the men, for them to do what the women say. First off, if a professor gave me an assignment like that, like, you're my favorite professor. Right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask y'all, have y'all ever had a Masuo moment? Like, real quick. You ever felt that, or do you feel like you're living in it now?
I feel like I have Masuo moments every time I travel. That is definitely when my Masuo comes out. Definitely.
I think I'm living in mine now.
I think I'm a little more conservative because it's like you're looking for home base. You're looking but whatever I travel, whether it's internationally or New York, wherever, I'm definitely on my Masuo vibe.
I think definitely when I was actively dating, that was my Masuo moment. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely for you.
Yes, indeed. So, all right. So, as we know, this takes place in Harlem. It's going through gentrification. Camille takes us through that and what's going on through Harlem. You know, they got jazz clubs becoming Sephora's, and we are all from or live close to major cities. So we see a lot of gentrification going on where we are. And I can definitely attest being in Chicago, but originally near DC. Every time I go to DC, I'm like, I don't know this place. So they are trying to navigate just like the gentrification of Harlem and just trying to figure out like, what is this place? Who are we? But then they're also trying to navigate dating, and the men outnumber the women, or the eligible bachelors, I guess you would say, outnumber the women, as like in many other places. And so they're just trying to navigate all of that. So we're introduced to that. And pretty much she's like, there's a man deficit. Either you like refuse to settle, or you could be like the Masuo and you're like, I'm not going to settle. I'm going out there to get what I want. So for you all, do you think that you can live like the Masuo and still get everything that you want, like in today's world?
I'm gonna say maybe. And the reason I'm gonna say maybe is because with the Masuo women, that was clearly a part of their culture. So how they would describe everything would include how women move, right? And even men, what they're aspiring towards or whatever would be around understanding that you will be chosen. You might want to be chosen, but you also understand that, you could be X'd off at any time. So that's why I would say maybe if our culture were like that, but I would say in today's culture, if that was your standard of practice and beliefs, yes. That's not necessarily a part of my long-term plan. So I'm gonna say no. But I think there are definitely women and men, especially people who are in polyamorous relationships. Like, I think it's definitely possible if that is a part of your belief system.
And I think like if you have an open marriage, right? Like, or an open relationship, like you can get everything you want, right? And so, because you can have a person for this need, you can have a person for that need.
Right.
So I think like, yeah, if that's how you move, it's possible to be the Masuo and still get everything you want into the 21st century.
I think so. I feel like women have been trying to move like that, but maybe similar to what Rashana said, the culture is not ready. So I think maybe behind the scenes, women move like that, but we don't talk about it publicly because of the backlash and like how men, particularly men, would feel about that, just knowing like, oh, women are moving like this. And, if I don't like you, then I'm just going to be like, all right, well, this is done. I'm moving on. I think we've tried to do that. I think there's just it's not accepted with the exception of like polyamorous
relationships, which is consistent of open marriages.
Yes.
Just
Yeah, but I think we try to do that. I think we're afraid though of the backlash. So we don't necessarily do it very publicly. If we do it or we just don't do it at all and we kind of just go with the flow.
Actually, now that you say that, I was going to say, I think women are doing that. Because, and maybe not in the sense of how it was presented on the show of like, it pretty much was like women just being able to grab any man they want, you know? But I think we are doing that. I think women are the choosers ultimately, you know, because I do believe that men hunt, but a woman ultimately chooses, you know, in that case. But we are in a new day. And I think that many women, especially some of us who are single, are Masuo, because we're choosing, we're not choosing, right? We're saying like, I'm not just going to pick any man just because, and we're owning that choice to be able to live life on our own terms. And I think that there are also women that are in relationships and even marriages, you know, even though I think marriage is a different thing. So I really don't want to lump marriages, but I have seen this, you know, but it's like, you know, where if it's not working, it's not helpful, that they choose to depart amicably if possible, you know, or go seek that happiness. As I said, I do think marriage is different, but I know people who have who've done that. So I think women are doing that. And I think you can see that it's shaking up the culture. I think in a lot of the music, when we're talking about how we like to be pleased, how we like to be courted, the things that we like, things that we're getting ourselves. I think we are doing that. I think where it comes back full circle is what the statistic that she gives in the beginning about Harlem, which, as Christy said, definitely goes across the board in many cities, is that the ratio is off. So rather than choosing really between men, because there just aren't as many, what's Kevin Samuels saying? High valued men. Because, you know, that is off. I think women are choosing other things, which is, you know, ourselves, our friends, you know, multiple partners. We even got a lot of women choosing women. Let's be honest. You know, there's a lot of women out here that's just like, it ain't working with a man. Let me try with myself. Like literally yourself, but also, you know, another woman. So I think in that way, we're doing that.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I think there's lots of options out there. And I think, especially in these times, like we're encouraged to try them. We're like emboldened to try them. And I think that definitely there's some characters in there that do this, that give that big energy, that give that Masua energy. So yeah, I'm with y'all. So I'm gonna go into the other characters, and then I want y'all to let me know who y'all connect with the most. So we met Miss Dr. Camille. So then we have Ty. So Ty is a tech entrepreneur. She has a dating app for queer people of color. And she seems to be worth quite a lot. She done told somebody that gave her an off valuation that you're not going to devalue me or my company. And she was like, you can address me as what? Your Highness. I love it. She definitely got that big energy, okay? Like she got the Masuo energy. So we got Ty. Ty seems like, as they say, she dates Instagram influencers, models. She goes after the same type. She likes to be in control. She likes to definitely control the narrative. So we see her, you know, go out on some dates, meet another woman as a challenge that's different from the IG influencer models. And we see how that dynamic goes, which is quite interesting because both of them seem like they are very like similar and strong-minded. So we have Ty. Then we have Quinn. Quinn is a clothes designer. She's an entrepreneur herself. She has her own shop, Quinn Joseph. Quinn comes from money, and Quinn is played by Grace Byers. She comes from money. As we are told by Angie, who is the other character, they're roommates and besties. We're told that she has a trust fund, and I guess she pretty much lives off of that. Her mother, played by Jasmine Guy, she gives her a lot of mouth for asking for money. And it seems like Quinn really wants to be independent, but she can't because they're going up on that rent at the shop. And she just really wants to take off on her clothing line, and she needs mommy and daddy's money. On the other hand, we have Angie, who, like I said, is the roommate, the bestie, and she kind of gives Quinn like some lip about like, you have it good, like you have mommy and daddy's money, you got this trust fund, but then Quinn is like, hold up, like you living off of this too, right? So you got that dynamic. That's real interesting. So those are our four characters, our main characters here. Who do y'all resonate with most?
I was thinking about this because I knew this question was going to come as I was rewatching the series yesterday. And I honestly just landed on there's a piece of me in all of them. I feel like Ty, of course, like I love her business, her hustle, her grind. I too can be controlling and, want to control the narrative. And so that definitely shows even in some of my past relationships and who I chose to engage with. So I can definitely see that. And I can see her growth in terms of letting go and just, letting love, right? In terms of Quinn, her, as you know, as it goes on in the series, her having a very critical mother resonates with me because I feel like I had two critical parents, and that drives you in a way of where it kind of makes you try to find yourself, which is where it makes it difficult sometimes to find yourself because you're constantly defining yourself as what will be good in mommy and daddy's eyes versus like, what might be good for you. And I definitely resonate with that, just trying to figure that out. And then of course, having a Caribbean parent, Caribbean parents are, or just immigrant parents are different. And then of course with Cammie, as we find out she's called at the Red Lobster, just, her being feeling like she's reached or seemingly reached a peak. She's an adjunct professor at the Columbia, but still wanting more and trying to figure out what that is. I'm not even sure a full-time professorship is really what it is for her, but it's like she's so dedicated to the path if she feels like she can't get off, and so that's that. And then I don't think I know I have my hair today. I don't think I resonate a lot with
It looks like you very much giving Angie with the hair.
Yeah, I'm giving Angie because I like Angie's style. Angie, I love her style, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I really like her as a person. On the show, like Angie couldn't be my friend.
Really? I like Angie. I like Angie because
like Angie's a freeloader. I'm sorry. Like,
yes, she is. But I think the one thing I do like about Angie, though, is in many instances throughout the season, which we'll talk about, is she's very honest with her friends. I feel like there's times.
When you broke,
huh?
You can do that when you broke. You ain't Which I do. No, I know. I like her honest commentary. I really do. I appreciate her on the show for that because she does check her friends. At the same time, it's like she need to get it together. Like she too grown. Like she is. I could not. Angie would bother me. Angie would be that friend that would bother me. Like.
I do. Her voice does annoy me on the show. Like every time I'm like, but I do like her.
I like her. She's funny. I like that she's honest. And I don't know. I think she adds like something extra to their group. Like I think she does give, like I said, because of her honesty, and she's a straight shooter. I think she really like has, mainly more so Quinn, really like she keeps her in check.
I can agree with that. I like Roshana. y'all just we go debate about this whole character.
It's episode 1. I think as the season goes along, we get to get more into the qualities of Angie. So that will be less of a debate. But in terms of, if if Angie is a good friend, or somebody that I want to say that I'm like, no.
Oh yeah.
No. No, I'm not running up my friend's Ubers. I'm not living there for free, then asking them for $600 after I just told you the rent went up and I don't have any money. I just had to go to my parents asking for the money. And you think that just because I come from money that it's okay for you to ask me, and then then my Uber account gets canceled because you ran it up, and then you got to come and get me wearing my coat.
Her new coat from Bergdorf.
I was also thinking when that happened, like I was like looking at Quinn, like, dang, you still got money to give her, but you ain't got no money for the rent. I was like, where? How is this make sense?
I just want to know what Angie has done, because clearly there's a pre-Harlem that we don't know, and I needed that the first episode with Angie.
Yes,
I was like, what? How did this happen?
Yeah, we don't get it in the first episode, but I think later episodes we kind of see how she got there. And I think it kind of explains the way that she is, because she has lived this life of luxury and then she got it all taken away. So she still has a sense of entitlement and she still needs to be brought down to earth. But I think it does happen slowly but surely throughout the episodes.
I think quickly I would say that I feel like I connect with most of the characters. Definitely connect with Camille on like the path and finding out what she wants to do next. I feel like I connect with, I want to keep calling her Grace, but her name is Quinn. I feel like I connect with Quinn in terms of like wanting that romantic, like fairy tale type love and like finding somebody. Like I think not currently as much now, but in the past I definitely have connected with her. I don't know if I connect that much with Ty. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But really more Quinn and Camille. I feel like I connect with both of them.
I think you connect with Ty in terms of how she dates.
What?
I think in terms of just like, yeah, I think you do. I think you do. I think you have the fairy tale like Quinn, but I also think that you are very bold in your dating choices. I think that you date often, not relationships, but you date often. And I think that there's a part of that sense of how you choose them and things that are the reason why you go for what you have gone for. I could definitely see that, and having to find yourself until you find your match through that, because I do believe that there's a reason why that's her, I guess, like outlet, or something that she seems to go to, when it's like that's like a go-to for her.
Yeah, I think I struggled to kind of see myself in the characters as well. I think presently where I am now, maybe a little bit more Miss Dr.
Better say Angie. After all the defending you did for her, she better
was going in for Angie.
That's because you ride it for her.
Yeah, no, I don't see it for Angie. I don't think there's probably a lot of people. Well, maybe that probably connect with Angie. Maybe her personality. Hopefully not her lifestyle. But but yeah, maybe like with Camille a little bit, just because I feel like Camille always thinks about the next step. And I think career-wise, I'm like, okay, I'm here, but then like, how do I get to the next level, right? So I can kind of connect with Camille on that. Pre-marriage, I could definitely connect with Quinn and Ty. So with Quinn, because I did do dating apps, like I would put myself out there. So I definitely connect on that. Now, I was not going like an hour plus away, like Long Island from Harlem for no dates. And I definitely wasn't like leaving my purse and going to the bathroom with a strange man. I didn't have no experiences like that, thankfully, but I definitely had the experience with the dating apps. And then with Ty, I like to be in control in some instances when it comes to relationships. So like with my single self, especially like my single self, like in my 20s, I was very non-committal. So I definitely connected with that aspect of Ty. Angie, no, but I mean I like her. Like I would hang out with her. She's fun. She's funny. But yeah, so those are
I
all of the
think I think we all kind of had that Quinn dating experience. I think the difference with New York is like everything you got like Long Island in New York is like to me feels like a DC Maryland in terms of distance. Like how many times you'd be like, oh, I gotta go meet this person in DC and it's like a 35-40 minute drive. I think it's like the same. I think just with Harlem, with New York, the situation looks different, but I feel like we've all had that experience. I don't know. Maybe I know I have, but
You mean going far to see somebody?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought Long
I
Island.
think DC is a little different, only because in New York, she had to take trains, public transportation to get there. But I guess when you're from there, that's like a normal thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking like that seems like more effort than here when it's like I'm just getting in my car, because I find now in this area, if someone says it's a 40-minute drive, I'm like, oh, okay. I just get in my car.
And it was on a weeknight, and it was like what, 8:00 p.m. And Angie was like, "That's not no date. Is that a date? Is 8:00 p.m. a date?"
I think
I
so.
think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the time. I don't think it's the time. I think it was the fact that, to me, if he was really interested in her, he would have come closer to her, or they could have met in the middle. And I think where she told Angie she was going, and as we later find out, that was not a date. Like it's loud. She can't even hear him. Like it didn't seem like she met him off the train. Like, then, we end up knowing that he ends up stealing her stuff or leaving her or whatever. But I think Quinn is in a very desperate place right now. Just with her whole life. And so I think her actions, I think honestly, she keeps Angie around. Like I said, I don't know, but I think she keeps Angie around too, because it reminds her that there is even more of a bottom than her, and I think sometimes that does happen in certain dynamics. But I think she's in a very desperate place. But where I will say I like that Angie came through was at the fundraiser when she asked for money, because she was about to back off and she knows she needed that money. And it was good that Angie was right there just to be like, yo, she need this money, because then she wouldn't have gotten it. She would have been
It was more like, yo, we need this money. But
yeah,
okay.
right. We need this money, right? Yeah. So that's one place I was like, yeah, come on, Angie. I like that she came through there for that.
Yeah. So there's one other character that we haven't talked about, and that is the fine, handsome Tyler Lepley, who is Ian, Camille's ex on the show. And as we find out, that is like Camille's kryptonite. Like she sees him on her block. They broke up because he went to Paris and he went to go pursue his dreams of being a chef. She sees him on her block. She's like, it throws her whole world off. And so, pretty much at the end of the episode, we get kind of asked in a way, like, do you confront the past or let it go? Because she had a couple of moments where she could have confronted him and she got like scared or nervous each time. And in this episode, she has yet to um, really confront him. And so, for you all, do you think that it's better to confront the past, or should you let the past go?
I'm always gonna confront.
Mm.
If the opportunity arises, I feel like, I don't know. I just kind of feel like things. If there's still something there, then there's still something there, and if
Mm.
they're in both in a place where, which I mean, he's not, but he's in that place. You know, he shouldn't be in that place because he's engaged, but he's in that place, right? Where there's still clearly something there. Then I think she has to do this. Otherwise, she's not going to be able to move on, which we do see in the season, because I'm not going to lie, I was feeling my Jameson. And, she's never going to be able to move on until she puts a pin in that. And I think that happens in life, whether it's opportunities that you feel you missed out on, or relationships. But he opened that door. He ain't tell her that he was engaged. He kissed her also. So it was the done deal. I don't know what else you could do after that.
I think sorry for background noise. I think we've all been in that situation where it's out of sight, out of mind. So he left. So it was kind of like, oh, he's gone. I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got to look at it. And then when he comes, it's like all of the feelings of her feeling like the what ifs, and did I miss out? And, did I make the right decision coming back? So I think she has to confront the past, like Rashana said, to move on. But I do think it's really hard when you put something out of sight, out of mind, and then everything hits you at once, to really sit down with yourself and be like, all right, I got to do this. But then also, I think what we'll talk about more throughout the season is just like coming to terms with, what does that look like? Like when you confront the past, like, is it like, oh, I'm good and this is what I need? Or like, do I still need to say something? And is there still feelings there? And what does that look like? So I think all of that goes into it. But I do think you have to confront the past, because if you don't, she's always going to be sitting there thinking, what if? So she has to do that.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it's fully out of sight, out of mind, because she was still trying to find him on social media, remember? But she couldn't, he keeps a very low profile.
But I thought she was finding him after she ran into him, after he left.
Think she was probably watching him even before. Those types of, I see what you're saying. I think it is. I think when someone is not there physically present, it does allow you some distance to be able to not confront it. But I don't think it's something that is not something that you're supposed to not confront. I still think it's there. I guess that's what I'm saying, right? Like, it's there, but you're right. When it comes back into sight, that's what forces the confrontation that probably should have happened whenever. But pride and, things get in the way.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see what Camille does this season, whether she does confront the past or what exactly happens with her and Ian. And we'll see what happens with Quinn and her her very fairy tale ideal of just dating. And we'll see if Angie gets a job and if she gets even close to moving out of Quinn's apartment. And Ty, will see where her love life and dating goes. So I'm excited about this new journey with the 1000 Club podcast. I'm excited to continue watching Harlem. And we hope that you will continue to join us as we do these recaps of the episodes. So make sure you check us out for episode 2. Make sure you follow us at 1000 Club Life. Make sure you follow us on all socials, IG, Facebook. Make sure you follow us on YouTube at it's the 1000 Club Life. And you can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. So we will see y'all next time.
Peace.